Testing, testing. All right, you guys should hear me now. Let me know if you hear me. Let me know if you hear me in the chat. You say still no sound. Let me see. You say still no sound. Let me see. All right, we good? All right. My bad, guys. Technical difficulty. Technical difficulties. My bad, man. John Bishop say good. Audio and video is all right. VJ say yeah. We good now. All right, we good now. We got 36 people in here. All right, my bad, guys. To my guests, I put the link in the chat. Just hit the link. Let's see if we get you guys on here. Let me see. Let me know where you guys checking in from. We got 34 people in the building right now. Let me go through. Let me start from the top, man. Let me wait till my guests get in. We got Hazmat in the building, backstage. I'm gonna bring her up. To my guests, hit the link. Well, we had Hazmat. We're gonna let Hazmat get back in. All right, I'm gonna start at the top. We got Austin. What's going on? We got Zay in the building. What's up, Theo? Kinsley, VJ, Trucking. What's going on? Bink TV. What's up, bro? Who else we got in here? All right, we said Austin. I see you, Hazmat. I'm coming to get you. I see you, bro. I'm coming to get you too. All right, we got Hazmat. We got SKZ backstage. I'm coming to get y'all in a minute. I'm just getting some quick shout outs real quick. Ghost Town Bullies, what's going on? What's up? Juan. Let's see. All right, Bit Lex in the building. Appreciate you. We got Trader Trucker. Appreciate you. Toga, what's up? All right. Brian, what's going on? Kevin. All right, I'll get the rest of you guys in a little bit. All right. Hazmat Slim, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. SKZ, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much. DB, what's up?
All right, there we go. We're good. I think. Are we good?
Yeah, we good now, man.
Okay. Look like I'm froze. I don't know what's going on.
How y'all doing today?
Cool,
Good.
cool. Colin. What's
Appreciate
up,
y'all for
everybody?
coming on, man. I was having some technical difficulties, but I think we got it figured out. Let me get this comment off the screen real quick.
Okay. What's up to my colleagues? What's going on?
What's
Good.
going on?
All right, everybody good? You guys can hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Am I froze, Anthony? Or no? Are we good?
Nah, you're not froze.
Okay.
All right, we got 40 people in the chat. Do me a favor, you guys haven't hit that like button. Hit that like button for me. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate everybody in here. I think we got your lady in here.
Yeah.
DB,
Yes,
how you
sir.
doing?
Hey, mama.
AJ, what's going on?
Hey, AJ.
All right, man. So, like I said, I apologize to everybody on the chat right now, everybody watching the stream, man. It was my bad. Had some things going on, but I think we got it figured out. So,
Mm-hmm.
today, man, we got the Gemini takeover, man. We got some actual drivers in the building today. You guys
Okay.
know if you watch the live stream I had it's been a little over a week ago now. We had 3 recruiters on. Shout out to Ashley, Chris, and Judy, man. They came in and killed it. Um, I had a conversation with Ashley, offline after the stream, man. She just seemed like a fantastic individual, man. She was real cool, super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Ashley, man, for getting everybody together and coming on. But now we got the drivers, man. Um, DB hit me up, shot me a text, and sent me some information I need to update on that live stream. And he was like, "Man, look, anytime you need me to come on and give a driver's perspective, I got you." And I'm like, "Look, let's set it up." And I said, send the invite to Hazmat Slim too, so we can get a female perspective in here as well. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming on today.
All right, cool. Thanks for
All
having
right,
us, man.
so I'm gonna start with you, DB.
Okay.
We just gonna kind of go around the room real quick just to get a quick introduction. We'll go DB, and we'll say the best for last. So we'll say Hazmat Slim for last. All right, instead of ladies first, we're gonna do ladies last this time. So DB, just
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead, let them know who you are. I'm pretty sure you got a lot of people in here that already know, but for the ones that don't, let them know who you are and what you do, man.
Hey, I'm DB, Dirty Broke 215, fuel hauler for Gemini Motor Transport. Because I hear a lot of people, they leave the motor off. It's Gemini Motor Transport because it is a Gemini Transport out there. So we don't get that confused. But I'm a fuel hauler for, like I said, a fuel hauler for Gemini. Been here for 13 years, and that's pretty much it, man. Just hauling fuel, man. Been in the industry for a long time, but been hauling fuel for 13 years for Gemini.
There you go.
Hmm.
SKZ.
SKZ. I started with Gemini back in December last year, so a couple months of them now. I'm a fuel hauler. I run a sleeper truck for them. My background came from agriculture, so I've been in trucks, but this is my first fully licensed CDL job running for them.
Okay. Okay. Hazmat Slim.
Hazmat Slim. I've been with the company. I started November 30th, so I'm a little shy of 3 months. And the love for trucking just came from the family. It's always been in my family and the business.
Okay. There y'all go. All right. So let's go ahead and get started, man. DB,
Yes, sir.
talk about it, man. Um, Fuel hauling. I know you got Hazmat Slim on. You kind of plugged her, but
Hmm.
for the people in the chat, man, tell them about what you do on the day to day.
On the day to day, we just haul fuel to the Love travel stops. That's what we do. It's very consistent, very monotonous. I try to say this all the time. If you don't like to do the same thing every day, same faces every day, this is probably not going to work for you. What me and Slim do, you know. And SKZ, he's a little bit different. He's kind of local slash regional, so he may see a little bit more different faces and a little few more different places than we do. But what me and Slim do is pretty much the same thing every night, same store, almost the same time, start at the same time, home at the same time, and that's pretty much what it is right there.
Okay. Hazmat Slim.
What's going
How
on?
was your experience training with DB? How was that whole experience like? Can you just explain that?
It was amazing. Like, he's really the best mentor. Um, he makes sure that I really developed a routine, so I was doing everything consistent at the same time, because that's really what it's about. He says you do the same thing over and over, but you just got to make sure you don't get complacent and that you're checking everything. But for the main part, as long as you develop that routine, you do it the same way every time. You'll never miss a step. So he really took the time to drill that in my head. And when something was a little difficult for me, being like a smaller build, some things were a little heavier for me. So it was just about learning how to adjust and make it work for me, which I was able to do.
Okay. And what were you doing prior to Gemini Transport?
Prior to Gemini, I was in the healthcare field actually.
Okay, healthcare. All
Yeah.
right, we
Mm-hmm.
gonna
So
get back to that
completely
in a
different
minute.
switch.
Yeah, we gonna get back to that in a minute. All right, SKZ,
Hmm.
let me know about what you do, man.
So I'm a little different being in the sleeper truck, but I cover a lot of the stores that they do as well when I'm local. But they'll send me further out, New York State, New Jersey. I cover western part of Pennsylvania a lot. So same thing, hauling fuel to those stores. I'll just see different racks. I'll see different stores, different people. The challenges I find, is that because I'm on my own in a lot of those places, I don't necessarily have the support to find out, where exactly this drop may be or how to get something done out there. So it's a lot more of relying on dispatch or trying to figure stuff out on my own out there. But in terms of that, it's the same routine, loading my trailer and I'll travel 4 or 5 hours to drop a load and then bring loads back.
Okay, so you still home every day.
For the most part, yeah. Last week I stayed out one night. A couple weeks ago I was out for 5 nights, but for the most part, I get back for the most nights.
Okay.
It really depends
And,
where a fuel shortage is, or if drivers are on vacation or something like that. They might send me further out for a couple days, but for the most part, I get home every week or every night.
got you. And you in a sleeper?
I'm in a sleeper.
Okay. All right. My guy Zay McFly says, what are you guys' schedule? You could start DB. What's your
Well,
schedule?
I'm Monday through Friday. I start at midnight. We do 12-hour shifts, and that's pretty much it for me. We will be required to work a 6-day week if they need you, or like SKZ said, if somebody goes on vacation, they expect you to cover, and they'll let you know that in advance, if you got to cover for somebody. But for the most part, we're on 5-day schedules, home for 2 days. Yep. Two
Okay,
consecutive days. Yep.
and you guys do slip seat, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Except for,
fortunate.
yep.
I
Yep.
don't have to slip seat at all. So if I want to stay out a little longer, I don't have to worry about getting back to somebody. So if I see a store could pick up an extra load and I got the hours, I'll pick up an extra load and fill it in there. I don't really have to worry about getting back. So that's the nice part about the sleeper part.
Oh yeah, that is
Hmm.
nice. Now, is it the same, um, I guess, process to get in your position, SKZ?
Same exact
What's
process. I do the same exact routine that those guys do, same racks. You know, um, there's really nothing different except the fact that I travel a little further to drop a load versus what they do because I might make a load or go back for a second load and not be able to get home for the night because of the hours of service. So that's really the only difference I run into.
okay? And your position is classified as a regional.
Um, I guess so. Technically, it's a regional sleeper seat fuel hauler job.
All right. Yeah, I just want to kind of clarify that just in case somebody was interested in
Yeah,
applying for that particular
if you
position.
go onto the Gemini Motor Transport website, I believe they just put it as sleeper fuel hauler.
Sleeper for you all. Okay.
Yes.
All
So if
right.
you see
Got
that
you.
sleeper, expect to sleep in the truck. If you see
Mhm.
that, if that's the position you apply for, don't think you're going to get home every night just because, like he said, sometimes you can get home every night, but then sometimes you might be out for 5 nights. So if you're in a
Mhm.
sleeper, don't expect to be home every night is all.
Every day is different. Like I had a couple of back and forth home, and then last week, I randomly got in and dispatch wanted me to drop two loads to a store that's too far that I wasn't going to make it home, so I stayed out that night without any, knowing that that's what the plan is. So it's kind of fly by night, whether you're going to be out or not. But if they want you out for a long period of time, they do give you a heads up, like, hey, you're going to be going to New York and running for a couple weeks or week and a half or whatever. So they do give you preparation for that as well.
Okay. Do you guys get per diem?
I do, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just you specifically. Okay.
Yes, I
Well,
do.
and how
Yep.
much is the per diem?
You get $50 a night. You sleep out. You just got to send a job form into the company, and it comes right to your paycheck, non-taxed on that.
Okay. All right. Cool. And Hazmat Slam, what's your schedule?
I'm a night shift warrior, so I work Tuesday through Saturday, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. But I also slip sleep with the daytime driver, so if it's a day that he's not working, I'll try to come in a little earlier and stay later, because that's really how I make my money.
That's where the money at.
Yeah.
That's where the money. That's where the magic happens.
Yeah, for sure. We got a question right here from Dolph. He
Hmm.
says, "How's driving in the snow with tankers? Are runs canceled due to inclement weather?"
Anybody want to take it?
So going out like Western PA, I hit snow a lot. Like I'll leave where these guys are at, and it'll be nice and sunny, and I'll get past certain parts on 80, and it'll turn into a snowstorm. You just got to slow it down and take it a little more careful, and give more distance to the trucks in front of you. Watch them sharp curves, and besides that, there's really no other difference except just being aware of what's around you. The thing is, we run super singles versus duals too, so they don't have as great of traction. But as long as you're slowing it down and paying attention, there's really not a big problem hauling tankers in the field snow. It's the ice really that's the problem.
You guys ever have to chain up?
I haven't out here. No, I have out west, but not out here.
Okay.
No, no
All right,
chaining over
VJ.
here.
VJ says, "Do each store have their own trucks, or do some stores get support from other stores?" He's
Some
going to
stores,
take that.
most trucks here, particularly in Pennsylvania, I'll speak on Pennsylvania because this can vary from state to state. So I'll just, talk specifically Pennsylvania. Most trucks will cover multiple stores, although you have a home store that we will park at, but we'll go out and cover most of the stores in PA. And like I said, I can't speak for other regions because it's different as far as distance, rack time, rack meaning that's where we go to pick up the load at and where you got to go deliver it at. So that could be different, like I said, depending on what state you're in. But us, we'll cover multiple stores. We'll do multiple stores in a night. Sometimes if we'll have 4 loads, I could do 4 different stores,
Mhm.
Okay.
so it just
But
all
it
depends on how dispatch is.
but it's
Customer?
nice though, cause usually your last load is your store, where meaning
Correct.
where you park for the night. So you drop your load, you do your paperwork, and then your car's right there. You could go home.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They
Okay.
always will route you back. Usually your last load, like you said, is back to your home store.
Okay. All right. Now, hazmat slip. I want to get back to what you were doing prior to
Yeah.
getting
So,
into trucking. So,
like I said,
what
I
what
was.
made you,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
make that transition?
To be completely honest with you, like I loved working in the healthcare field, but dealing, I won't lie, dealing with people all day, every day was a challenge because you're different with different personalities all the time and you're trying to figure out solutions all the time. It was heavy mentally. So transitioning from that to this, I don't have to talk to nobody if I don't want to. I get in a
Yeah.
truck, I could put my music on, and that's it. If I have an issue, we communicate with dispatch through an app called Slack. So it's just me hopping on my phone, kind of like texting, just sending them a text,
Mhm.
and they figure it out, and I just wait. I really don't have to talk to anybody, and I think it's a lot better for me.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Hmm.
one thing that I love about trucking too, with the particular job that I have. It's just like you pretty much your own boss while you're out there. You don't have nobody
Mhm.
over your back. You're not behind, 4 walls, and you just do your thing. Nobody bother you. You just get the
Yeah.
job done and go home.
That's
Like,
Hmm.
it. No one's hounding you like, where you at with this load? Why is it taking you so long? None of that. You get your whole dispatch for that night or day if you're a day driver, and you run it accordingly. And then you go home. Nobody bothers you.
nice. And
Nobody.
how long have you been trucking all together, hazmat? How much
Um,
experience do you have?
Not long much. I graduated with my CDL Class A and all my endorsements. That was November 8th, I think it was. And then I started with Gemini November 30th.
Really?
So a little shy of 3 months.
How you managed to pull that off? I guess you know
Dirty.
somebody that knows somebody.
Dirty. I remember I applied for the job and they asked you about your experience, obviously. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have no driving experience, no tanker experience, but I'm going to try it anyway. So
Yeah.
then, as soon as I submitted the application, probably like 20 minutes or a half hour later, they emailed me back and they were like, sorry, we reviewed your application, blah, blah, blah. Basically, I didn't have the experience. And I remember calling Dirty Broke pretty much in tears. And he was like, all right, don't worry about it. Let me handle it. And then I got another phone call from the recruiter, and it was history from there.
Hey, that's a perfect example of sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Oh
That
man,
part.
absolutely.
I
If I
can't
Yeah,
didn't
stress
know
that enough to
him,
people.
yeah. Shout out
if
to
I
DB on
didn't,
that, man.
yeah, if I didn't know him, I would have a very hard time because I don't have no experience. So getting into, a company like Gemini or hauling fuel with no experience is unheard of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, SKZ, how long
Mhm.
have you been trucking?
So I've been in trucks most of my life, but I worked in agriculture. So as long as we were licensed as farm use only, I was exempt from having to hold a CDL. So I never went and actually had my CDL. Even hauling cattle pots and hopper bottoms and all that stuff. They give you a mileage that you're allowed to travel from the farm or the ranch and back. So I was always exempt. But for 18 years, I've been in and out of trucks my whole life. And then I moved back to Pennsylvania finally. I decided to actually pursue my CDL and go this route, and get off of the agricultural side. And, I went to school with Hazmat Slim and, she got me into Gemini.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you the one that Hazmat Slim got on. I heard Ashley talking
Exactly.
about. I think Ashley was talking about that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to school and I moved back to PA and, she told me, she was going to try to get into fuel hauling and I had a couple offers after I got out of school, but nothing that I really was too interested in. I kind of liked the tanker idea. I hauled fertilizer and stuff on farms too. And, she said, I'll put a word in for you if, you want to go this route. And she did. And it worked out well. And I really enjoy it.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Hazmat Slim for paying it forward on
Hmm.
that.
There you
Definitely.
go.
Absolutely.
She
All
had
right,
to
Bill
pay that
Lex
up.
got
I
a
told her,
question.
I told Slim, you got to pay that up. I got you in.
Yeah,
You
Hmm.
got
man.
to get somebody else in. And SKZ, you're next up, bro.
Yes, sir.
100%. All right, Bill Lex say, do you get nervous driving the truck with fuel in it? I'm not sure who that question was directed to, but I guess either one of you guys can take it.
Nope.
No.
No.
The only thing I get nervous about is sometimes when I'm driving and a car is in front of me and they'll like light their cigarette or they'll flick it out the window because I'm hauling fuel. Sometimes I get a little nervous, but other than that, not at all.
Okay. So let me ask you guys this, and I want each one of you guys to answer this individually. We hear a lot of good things about Gemini, but every job has their pros and cons, right? No job is perfect. So if you guys had to pick, one con about the job or something that you feel can be improved, what would that be? And each one of you guys can answer that individually.
You want
Um,
you want me to go? Go ahead, you can go, Slim. I'll go next.
Okay, I would just probably say the whole dispatching of the loads thing. And what I mean by that is like they'll dispatch you at a location that you probably spent 40 minutes to an hour driving to, and then there's no allocation. So then they'll send you somewhere else, probably another 40 minutes to an hour away. And then you kind of get frustrated, but then you always got to tell yourself, I just got paid for that entire time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a con, but then it balances itself out because yes, it can be frustrating, but you're still getting paid.
Right.
So if all you're doing is driving around trying to look for product, you just got paid to just drive around and chill.
Yeah. That's a good way
So
to look at it.
Mm.
DB, what you think? What's your con?
My con is having to cover for people when they're on vacation. I don't like it because I like my days off. Everybody here knows that. I do not like working extra days. If I'm working an extra day, believe you me, they made me. I don't volunteer for the extra work. I like the young folks to get that. You know what I'm saying? Because I like my
Yeah.
time off. But anyway, it's pretty much that and the waking up. I start at midnight. That is the
Yeah.
hardest thing to do for me is that wake up. When that
mhm.
because I wake up at 11 p.m. every night. So when that alarm go off, it's a struggle. But once I
Yeah.
get going, then I'm good to go. But that waking up, I ain't gonna lie, you
Tough.
do not get used to that. I don't care who
Yeah.
tell you get used to it. You never get used to waking up at 11 o'clock, going to work when it's freezing cold, snowing, raining. You just can't get used to that, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah,
I
his
feel you on
schedule
that.
is hard because when I was training with him, I was on that schedule and it's very hard because when you wake
Yeah.
up, it's dark out. My schedule, I start at 4 p.m. So when I wake up, it's light outside. So automatically my body just kind of wakes up. So it's not really a struggle for me to wake up.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nah, I know all about that graveyard shift. I got to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning, so it's kind of the same thing.
Hmm.
Yes, it's tough. It's tough. We had Brian says I start fuel hauling job on Monday. I have tank experience though. Let me see if we got any other questions in here. I don't see any right now.
Yeah, ask some questions, man. Anybody want to know what it's
If
like,
you
the
guys
day to
got
day?
questions, just drop it
Yeah,
in the chat.
yep.
This is a perfect opportunity. Zay McFly says, are all of you guys running out of the same general area?
Pretty much, except for uh SKZ. Like I said, like he said, he'll go a little further, but he does cover some of the same stores we cover. But
Yeah,
me and Slim, we we park at the same location, so we cover almost the identical stores.
yeah. Where I park at's the same exact lot as them. I just might stay out further or might cover other states. I'm carded in different states, but where I come home to and the basic stores, when they're down, is the same exact stores that they run to.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Now, what's the pay? I know, I heard Ashley talk about it and some of the recruiters when they were on, but the starting pay rate um for just a regular fuel hauler coming in the gate, what is that? And I know location is probably gonna play a part in that,
Mhm.
but I guess for you, Hazmat Slim, if you don't mind,
Mhm.
if you do, that's fine. You don't have to, but I would like to hear that also
Yeah.
for SKZ as well doing his position. But you can start Hazmat Slim.
So when I was in training, I was getting paid 30 an hour. Now I get paid 31 an hour because I'm a night driver.
Okay. So night drivers get paid more than day drivers.
Correct.
Okay. Nice.
I'm similar. It was 30 for my training, but being in the sleeper, I'm at 32 an hour, and then I get my per diem when I do stay out on the road as well.
Come on, man. You can't beat that.
No,
You guys get paid
no,
weekly too, right?
yes.
Mhm.
I love that weekly pay, man.
Hmm.
Man, come every week, right on
And
time.
and and
I
for
love that
me,
week.
it's undisclosed, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we ain't gonna mess with you, veteran.
Yes.
All right, we got Sideshow got a question. He says, "Do you have to be carded at a lot of terminals where you guys are located?"
Every terminal you're going to pull fuel out of, you got to be carded at. So, I in my box right now, I have about 18 different cards just because, I got cards for Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. So, anywhere you pull fuel, you got to get carded at.
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Hmm.
Business of flight. He says, "Do they hire drivers with 6 month local experience?"
Absolutely. These guys, hey, they're right here. They just said their story. I don't know if whoever said that, they must have missed that, but yeah, there's the proof right here in front of you.
There you go, man. Yes, but if you know somebody, it do help.
It does.
All right, Brian says, "What does Gemini Motor Transport pay?" We just went over that. Scott,
Now let me say this real quick, Anthony. That will vary
yeah,
from state to state. So it all depends on what state you're in. I don't know what all the states start at, but I believe the lowest starting pay is $27 an hour. I don't think there's anywhere in this company that they start you less than $27 an hour.
And I know they've been
okay,
up in the pay in certain states. Like I did some training in Jersey and they were getting paid less than Pennsylvania, but they recently just upped the pay in New Jersey as well to try to keep it on the same levels. So, pay does change, state to state as well at times too to make it better.
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, so there you guys go. We always, well, if you watch some of my videos, I talk about that a lot when I'm talking about these different trucking job opportunities. That location is definitely going to play a factor when it comes to the pay with most of these trucking jobs out here, jobs in
Absolutely.
general. But so, don't just hear one pay rate and think it's going to be like that, everywhere.
Yep.
We got
Absolutely.
Chris P says, "I have 10 years driving experience. Is there anything in Lakeland, Florida?" What's the website for these guys to check out to apply, DB?
Gemini Motor Transport. All right, go to Gemini Motor Transport. Just put that in your Google search and you'll see it. You hit on their link, go to their website, and it'll be a list of jobs. Let me say this right now.
Mhm.
Florida is one of the toughest markets to get in. And I'll just be frank with you. It is a waiting list on drivers that already work here trying to get into Florida. So the chances of a new driver trying to get in there that's not already in the company, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but
Very slim.
it's going to be slim. That's all I'm saying. I like to be straight up with people and tell them that, man, because I get a
Yeah.
lot of people asking about Florida, man. Trust me, there's a lot of people here that want to get to Florida. So,
Florida, where it's at. Shout out to all
yeah,
my
Florida, because
Floridians out there.
yeah, should salute to everybody in Florida. Florida's like my second home. I got a lot of family there. I vacation there a few times every year. So if I want to get there, I'm probably going to knock somebody off. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is.
All right, we got Trader Trucker. Would Gemini hire before a candidate relocates to the city where the job opening is?
uh, I don't know. That probably going to have to be a case by case basis. It's probably just safe for me to say that because I can't say 100% sure they won't or will. So I would probably say that's case by case basis. Talk to the recruiter about that.
There you go. Talk to the recruiter, and if you need to reach out to a recruiter, just check that live stream I had. I got all the recruiters' information in the description. So if you
Absolutely.
guys have any questions that we don't go over today, definitely go back to that live stream. You can reach out to any one of those recruiters. Like I said, I got all the information in the description. All right.
Right.
We got Ant. The one says, so DB, I've heard you say clean record is everything. Is someone permanently disqualified with any infractions on the NVR?
All depends on what the infraction is, how serious it is, how current it is, but it doesn't automatically disqualify you if it's not current. And like I said, depending on what it is. So you may still have a chance, but please remember and understand. And I know Anthony knows this. Anthony talks about this. There's competition out there trying to get the same job. Always remember that, people. So you want to try to be as clean as possible. Fill out the application in its entirety. Don't leave no gaps. If you leave gaps, they're probably not going to deal with you, because they figure like a gap, you're saying something, and they don't know what you're saying, and they don't want to waste their time to try to figure out what you're saying. So if it's a gap in the application, they probably just going to push you to the side and grab an application that don't have gaps. So
Yeah,
fill the application all the way out. If you do have a gap, put an explanation in there of why the gap was there, because they understand we're human. Nobody's, we're not robots out here. They understand life happens to people. You know what I mean? So just make sure you have it in there so they don't have to ask you.
that's good information right there, and that's something that Ashley mentioned on the live stream as well. So when you guys are filling out these applications, man, you need to make sure you're filling it out in its entirety. Don't leave no
Correct.
gaps. All right, because that can delay the process. She definitely mentioned that on the
Mm-hmm.
last live. All right, we got Stenzo says, what if you only have your tanker endorsement and want to haul DEF? How do you go about letting the recruiter know that's what you're interested in if you don't have hazmat?
Now, depending on where you're at, some places that haul DF will require you to have your hazmat only because you'll be doing what they call cross train. You may do DF one day, which is not hazmat required. It's not a hazmat product, but they may want you to haul fuel, depending on the location. Some locations you never haul fuel. Some guys don't have a hazmat. It all depends on your location.
Yeah, when I initially applied, I applied for the DEF job out here, and they asked me, to have my hazmat because they said, they'd want to have me cross trained on fuel, and then eventually the sleeper job was built, and they said we're just going to move you to the fuel side if you'd rather that. But they did ask on the application when I applied for the DEF that I had my hazmat.
Okay. All right. There you go. Somebody got a question for DB. Keith Williams. He said, DB, can you explain the Gemini way? Also, what processes Gemini have in place to make sure the driver doesn't cross drive?
Uh, we have
And
always
and
have.
wait, hold up, DB,
Go
my
ahead.
bad.
Go ahead. Yep, no
Um,
problem.
Before you get into that,
Hmm.
explain what cross drop is, man, because some people may not even know what cross drop is
Yeah,
before you
good.
get into
I'm
that.
glad you. I'm glad you said that, Anthony. Cross drop is when you load in a particular product. I don't care what it is, and you put it somewhere where it's not supposed to go. Now you're cross contaminating. That's called a cross drop. You know, you can load. To give you an example, you got a load of gasoline and you drop it in a diesel tank. That's what a cross drop is. A cross drop is a big no-no at any fuel hauling company. It's not a guaranteed fire, but trust me, you don't want to make that phone call telling your regional that you just did a cross drop. It is very expensive. They have to shut down the whole store. These truck stops make a lot of money. A lot of you guys are truck drivers. Y'all been in the last thing you want is to, fill your car up thinking you're getting gas and it's diesel because they have to shut the store down immediately. That's your job. If you ever come across a cross drop, anybody who's thinking about fuel, one of the first things you have to do is get inside that store immediately. They have a button in the store. They can shut down all the pumps immediately. That's like the first thing you want to do is shut the store down immediately to minimize the damages. So once you do that, then you get in contact with your regional manager, and then he will tell you how to proceed from there. Most important, shut the store down immediately.
There you go, man.
Now to eliminate the cross drops, we always have checks and balances. We go through this in training. We train you. This is why we try to pound this in your head. When you pull in a product, I don't care what the product is. You check, you verify, you circle, you initial everything on your bill of lading. You see what I'm saying? So when you get that, you identify what the product is, how much it is, what location it's going to. When you get to the location, you look at that over again to make sure you where you're supposed to be. I've done this a million times only because we drop a lot of diesel fuel. It's been times I will load a gas load and I'll pull up to the diesel drop. And then
Hmm.
I'll start doing my paperwork before I get out the truck. Like, oh crap, gas load. Then I got to pull up to the gas drop. It
Hmm.
will happen, but this is
Mm,
how you catch it. You see what I'm saying? And we
mm,
have indicators on the tanks on the side of the trailer where you flip them to gas and diesel. People will get complacent. They'll flip them, not really pay attention to them. You always want to be conscious of when you're flipping those indicators, letting you know what product is in what compartment, whether it's a premium, a diesel, or a regular, which that's what we primarily haul. Different parts of the country, they'll haul different products, ethanol, bio, and things of that sort. But you flip those indicators, and that's another, reminder of what you have in that trailer.
mhm.
And you want to check when you get out that truck before you hook up. You always want to double check. What do I got? All right, and you also want to make sure it's going to fit in the ground. So that's another big thing around here, particularly when the stores get tight. When we mean by get tight, that means tanks are close to capacity, being full. So you want to
Mm,
make sure that right amount of product in that tank is going to fit in the tank in the ground. And you do that by checking the Vita root. We can check all the stores from the truck, from the tablet in the truck, but you
mhm.
also want to check it from the Vita root inside the store. It's just an inventory printout that you print it out the store, and that'll give you up-to-date accuracy on exactly what's in the ground before you drop that product to make sure it's going to fit. Because if you drop product that's not going to fit, we have shutoffs in the ground. We call them flappers, and it'll shut the tank off. And once it shut it off, you can't drop any more product, and you can't get unhooked because now you got a hose full of product. So last thing you want to
Mm,
do is start dropping product that's not going to fit. So if the
yeah.
product is not going to fit, do not start the drop until it's going to fit. Until that Vita root tell you you got room in that tank for it to fit.
Okay,
And that's pretty
so
much
in
it.
other words, you guys need to pay attention with what you're doing when you're doing
Hmm.
this
Absolutely. Absolutely. We
job.
train you to
Hmm.
do all this. It may sound complicated for people that never done this, but we're going to train you.
Yeah.
Trust me, we're going to train you. We're going to do it 1,000 times.
Hmm.
We will pound it in your head and we will not
Hmm.
release you on your own until we're confident that you know what you're doing. Slim and SKZ can speak to that.
Yeah, like it they really do pound it in your head and they follow our code of conduct. So as a trainee, because I've been there, it may seem like it's repetitive, like I already did this, but literally every step you do is for a reason. Because if you didn't catch it the first time around, maybe not the second, you're gonna catch it the third or in the fourth, and like so everything is done for a purpose. And when I first started, it was a headache for me. I was like, I already did this. And Dirty was like, no, you got to do it. You got to do it this way every time because it's easy for you to forget something. But if you follow the strategic way of doing it, you're going to catch your mistake. You have plenty of time to catch it if you just follow
Yeah.
what you're supposed to be doing the same way every time.
Okay.
Hmm.
It becomes second nature after a while. Like, you think they're just banging in your head over and over, but I've been out there where I've gone to drop stuff, and before I pull my internals, I'm remembering exactly, what I'm taught in training, you know, premium to premium, regular to regular, checking that
Mhm.
it's white on the ground and red on the ground for my premium, that everything's hooked up properly before I open any valves. And I've caught myself putting my elbows down to one thing and nope, that's not where it goes. Talking to myself and move my elbows to the other tank and stuff. The way they train you, it might seem repetitive, but it will save you when you're out there. As long as you
Mhm.
follow it. And then after a while, you don't think twice about it. I get out the
Hmm.
truck and do the same exact thing over and over and over, and it's just second nature. My movements now, the way I set everything up.
And just talk
Nice.
yourself through it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Say it
Talk
out
yourself
loud.
out loud. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I always read my markers and tell myself I'm going regular to the regular tank and check my meter to make sure, this tank can hold this and this compartment has that much in it. And okay, I'm good to open the valves to let that flow to that one. And then I'll read the next tank and make sure I have the room before I do anything. And I'll do it 2 and 3 times, checking my meter routes to make sure everything's going to fit before I open anything.
Hmm.
All right. Real quick, Hazmat and SKZ, can y'all kind of tilt your camera up just a tad? It's kind of like
Tilt it
cutting off a
up.
little. All right, there you go. That's perfect. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Now, I got a question, man, because I see fuel haulers. I don't know if this old school. I don't know if it's new technology out, but I see these guys sticking this long like ruler in the tank. Like, do y'all do that? Like, what is that?
Yep.
I guess
Yeah.
they're trying to find out how much fuel is in the tank or something like that. But
Yeah, and we're
what?
It's
checking for water.
Oh,
hmm
for water. That's what that's for.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
So
we
paste
when
you
don't.
you
put on the bottom of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we don't really stick for measurement. Only time you stick for a measurement if you have a problem with the Vita root not communicating with what's in the ground. Like if the store loses power or anything like that, is the only time we stick for measurements. When you see us sticking, we're just sticking to detect water. That's it.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
and
Makes sense.
when we're dropping diesel, we stick before we drop the diesel. But if we're dropping gas, we stick before we drop the gas and then after you drop the gas.
Okay. All right. Appreciate y'all for clearing that
Mhm.
up. All right. Zay say, Ant, do you remember the Florida region recruit? I think Chris was over the Florida region.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you guys
Chris.
know?
Yep, that's Chris.
Okay. There you go,
Chris Kelly.
Chris.
Kelly. Hmm.
All right. One says OT after 40. So with the 5 day work week, you're averaging 10 to 20 years of OT.
Uh,
Hours.
10, 20 hours, you mean?
I guess that means hours. I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm assuming that's what he meant. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they
Yeah.
can speak to it. Like, um,
Yeah,
Really,
so
okay.
sorry.
really depends on the area too. Like I'll pull 68 to 70 some weeks depending on where they got me running to, but everything over 40 is going to be time and a half. But
Okay.
And
on the average, I'm hitting about 62 to 64 a week.
yeah,
Mhm.
Ooh.
and I'll say this,
You
and I
smiling
did
real hard to the bank.
let, let me say this, Anthony, and I did get permission from Hazmat Slim to say this. I don't think, or I think it's only one time since she's been here in the almost 3 months she's been here that she made less than $2,500 a week. 1 week.
Wow, that's crazy. That's good money. That's why you be doing them dances on them short videos. You ain't
Yeah,
going
because
nowhere.
I mean, even though, like I said, even though I slip seat, like I'm working at least, I try to work at least 12 hours, 5 days a week. So that's 60 hours. So
Yeah,
the days that my day driver isn't working, I'm going harder.
yeah,
So I'm trying to get a
getting that
little
money.
over six. Yes.
I hear you. I heard. Hey, look, we got 91 people in the chat right now, man. I need all y'all to hit that like
So
button for me. You getting
smash
value
that
from
like
this
button for your boy.
live stream, man. I know y'all getting some value from this. Hit that like button. And by the way, two of these individuals have YouTube channels. I'm not sure if SKZ have one or not, but Dirty
That's
Broke
my first time
215
on
has a
here.
YouTube channel. Definitely go check them out. Hazmat Slim has a YouTube channel as well. Definitely go check them out. Subscribe to the channel. All right.
Yep. Subscribe to the channel. Definitely
SKZ,
subscribe to
I
Hazmat
didn't hear
Slim.
you. Do you have one?
No, this is my first time ever being on YouTube or live or anything. So
Oh,
this
okay.
is all new to
All
me.
right. All right. Got you. All right. We got Austin says, how long does it take to land a job right out of CDL school? We kind of already touched over that. I know this was kind of old comment, so I'm kind of just kind of going back through them. We'll
Okay.
go
Go
to
ahead. No
the
problem.
next one. Sideshow says, do you guys do hair and Euro drug tests? I think Ashley had mentioned
And,
this one, but I'll let you
and
guys
let me
take it.
and let me say this, man. When people got to ask that question, man, as you know how we feel about that, Anthony. When you got
Yeah,
to ask that question, you're just not ready. Because
yeah,
how they drug test shouldn't even be on your radar, man.
100%. I agree. Yep.
Because we can tell you they only do urine, and then it's your time to go, and they do a hair.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It happens.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you be like, damn, dirty, you told me to only do urine. Hey, bro, like, you know what I'm saying?
I
That's why I say you gotta
one.
ask that question.
Yeah, if you got to ask, man, you
Don't
might need
ever
to kind
ask
of
the recruiter
reevaluate.
that. A
Yeah,
tip, don't
right.
ask the recruiter that. Okay?
Yeah,
Just
good
saying.
tip. Good tip. All right, Juan says, how good are the benefits and how much are they? I'm pretty sure that will vary with whatever plan you got, but I'll let you guys take that.
You want me to get it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm on a family plan. My deductible is for me and my wife. That's for health, dental, and vision. It's about 105 a week. That's health, dental, and vision for me and my wife.
401k match.
Yes, 401k
Mhm.
match, and this is a correction from the live feed with the recruiter. They actually match you. This just started this year, January 1, dollar for dollar, 5%.
Nice, nice. All right, Kevin says, is it a lot of work dropping the fuel at the gas station?
I'll let them take that.
Not really.
No,
I mean, in the beginning, it felt like a lot of work, but now, no. Once
What's
you
the
no.
hardest
learn
part?
different
What's the,
techniques on how to like maneuver your hoses and things like that, it's little tricks you learn along the way. And once you learn those, it's easy.
yeah. I kind of heard when DB had you on like right before you started. I think he was talking about the hoses.
Mhm.
Um, kind of probably being a little slight challenge for you,
Mhm.
but nothing too difficult. So I guess you kind of figured all that out at this point.
Sure did.
Nice. All right.
What did
T
I tell
Hill
you about the
says, could
hoses?
a person start off in the store and transfer over to the fuel hauler with help from the company paying for school?
Mm.
No, company doesn't pay for schooling. But I heard that it may be something in the workings where they're going to start a program like that, or they're kind of experimenting with that. So keep an eye out for that. And trust me, if that happens, I'll be the first one to run and tell everybody that that's what it is, because I'm actually trying to encourage the company to do something like that, in-house training, because a lot of companies will start to do that. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully they'll get that going.
BJ Trucking, what up, man? I've been seeing you pretty active, man. I hope you land that job at some point. Just hang in there, bro. He said DB ain't lying about Florida. Trying my best to get out here.
I
I've been
tell
seeing you,
people,
bro. Keep grinding.
Florida, Florida's a rough state. And everybody in trucking knows Florida's rough, man. It just is what it
Yeah.
is because everybody wants to be there. So the advice I can give to VJ, and I've been going back and forth with him on the email, his probably best opportunity is to get with all three regionals, ask them the hard market that they're trying to fill, and see if you can slide into that. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's markets here that they have a hard time filling because it could be in the middle of nowhere. Like I
Yeah.
think they said that on your last the interview they did with you, Anthony. They got
Mm-hmm.
areas they just can't fill them. Maybe that may be an option for you. If you
Right.
can't get in, because once you get in to the company, and when there's an opening in another state, you can probably pretty much get first dibs on that. before at
Hmm.
least an outsider comes in, So
Yeah.
that may be
And
your
the
way
good thing
in.
for VJ, he said he's flexible, so he don't mind moving to the money. So
There you go.
he got a little bit more options.
Hmm.
Gustavo says, all right, this for you, SKZ. He says, is SKZ a weekend driver or why is his pay 32 an hour? Just wondering.
I'm at 32 because I'm in a sleeper truck, so I'll be out on the road and stay out longer sometimes, so I get paid a little more. In terms of my schedule, for the most part, I'm running Tuesday through Saturday. Yeah, I get done Sunday morning, so Sunday and Mondays I'm typically off. But I could always go pick up an extra shift if I got the hours because I don't have to share my truck either. So just by them letting me stay out on the road, I make a little more that way.
So do all the drivers that do what you do in the sleepers have assigned trucks?
Yeah, all the sleeper drivers have their own truck. They don't share
Okay.
them. So my
Okay.
truck's set up the way I want it. I got my bedding in there. I keep my clothes in there. I get there, back to work on Tuesday morning. Everything's going to be set up the exact same way I left it. Nobody's going to move my hoses, my paperwork, anything.
Okay,
Man, I love that.
unless I need to use that truck one day, I have to
Hey, you
take it for
never
a
know.
spin.
It has been used for daily when trucks have been down before. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, it can be
I love.
used, but for the most part, the truck sits there when I'm not there.
Okay, cool. All right, this one for Slim. Slim, how intimidating was it for you to get started in trucking?
Zero. I wasn't intimidated at all. Like I said, my family has always been in the trucking business, so I've always been around trucks. So just learning the actual process of fuel, fuel hauling fuel was the only thing I really had to learn. But people tell me all the time, like, you driving that big thing, you so tiny, you not scared? And I'm no. If anything, I feel better because I'm up higher and I could see more.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it doesn't intimidate me at all, at all.
Okay, there you go. She not intimidated. Hi, Juan says, be honest, how much movement and physical labor is involved? Can I stay in shape with this job or will I have to dust off the Planet Fitness membership? Dust off that
Um,
membership anyway, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I know like for me specifically, in the beginning it was very laborious, but once I learned different techniques, like I said, it became a lot easier. I used to come home and my arms would be sore.
Yeah.
Now they're not sore anymore. And maybe because I just got used to using that muscle that I never really used before, but it's also about learning proper techniques.
Hmm.
And then it's not so laborious.
Yeah, that's key. Technique.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. All right, Robert Wallace says, I have one incident. Can I still get hired or do I need to wait till it fall off?
So it all depends on what it was.
And how long ago was it?
Yeah, and how long ago? Yep.
We got Binkin Truckology in the building. Appreciate y'all.
Hmm.
Good information. See if we got any more questions.
Hey, can we get that Charleston White right there? It says, "Dirty got me fired." So I love comments like that.
Hey, wait, yeah, I must have skipped over
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Let's get him in there. And I would love for Charleston to hit that link and come on up in here.
Charleston, if you still in the chat, go ahead and hit the link.
Yeah, hit the link. You got
Come on.
make sure he turn on his camera too. We want them
Yeah.
trolls. I would
Yeah.
love for this
Yeah.
one. And let's see him wait. Let's see how long this take.
Oh, okay, I see you. Charleston White. Oh,
All right, we can get on with the program.
I don't think he gonna come on.
Yeah.
Charleston White, you still out there, man. You got an open invitation. Uh, need you to elaborate on that. Let me see if we got any other questions in here. No, we got one for Winter. Which tanker jobs make most money, regional or local?
Regional.
Regional.
Yep.
There you go. Regional.
If you want to
All
make
right,
the money,
DB.
regional is where it's at. Yes, sir.
when you training, man, what's your approach, man? When you training individuals, do you have a different approach? If you train a female versus a male, is it the same? And also, like, how do you prepare for training when you're getting ready to train somebody new? Like,
Mm. I dropped a video on this. Trainers, we get nervous too,
yeah,
because we don't want to screw up. We don't want to screw you up because you don't know. So you're only going to know what I train you. So if I screw up, I'm gonna screw you up. So we do get nervous because some of us train more often than others, depending on the market. But it's not an everyday type thing that you do because we don't, quite frankly, we don't get a lot of turnover here, because
hmm,
usually once people in, they're in. But as of late, we had a lot of training because we're just trying to fill a lot of positions and they're filling up quick. But anyway, what I try to do is day one, I try to get my trainee to relax. I try to tell them straight up, you're not going to do nothing today, but just
hmm,
watch. That automatically relaxes them. They're like, woof.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I
yeah,
said, just watch the process. I just want you to watch me work and ask me a ton of questions. And along
hmm,
the way, I'm going to be explaining to you what I'm doing. If you're not understanding, just ask me and I'll explain it again until you understand it. So day
hmm,
one is just a watch day for me. I don't want you to do nothing. Take a notepad, write notes, whatever you got to do to remember. Like I just try to give people different ideas of how to remember. Take a picture, write it down, whatever you got to do to remember this process. That's what I want you to do. Because I don't,
hmm,
everybody learns differently. You know what I'm saying? So I
hmm,
said, for day one, just watch me, do what you need to do to remember. If I got to repeat it, I'll repeat it over and over and over again until you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing.
hmm,
And then day two, we'll start getting you to our drive and to the rack, and then I'll let you get out of the truck and start touching things. Start touching the loading arms. The loading arms is the arms that you actually hook to the trailer. Everything is
hmm,
bottom load, no top load. We never go on top of the trailer. I know I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh man, they're going." We don't go on top of the trailer. If you're up on top of the trailer, get your ass off there. All right, you ain't supposed to be up there. Get out. But anyway, because even at the terminals, they don't want you up there. They do not allow you up on top of those trailers at these loading terminals. So everything is on the ground. First thing you do when you pull up under the rack is position yourself right. Position yourself right. Then you take what we call a ground cable. We call it a scully. You hook that up to your trailer. Once you hook your scully up, then you hook up your vapor recovery hose. That vapor recovery hose sucks the vapors out of the trailer that's already in the trailer and it burns off the product because you can't release into the atmosphere. So you burn that off. And then you actually hook up your loading arms onto the compartments on the trailer. Some trailers got three, four, two, one compartment. It all depends on the type of trailer setup you got. And each compartment has amount of fuel, the gallons that you're supposed to put in each compartment. That's already predetermined. And your trainer will explain that to you how to work, how to scale a trailer and all that. So it's really not that difficult. Once we tell you what it is what it is.
hmm,
And then you once you get all hooked up, you go inside of a kiosk. Some of them are outside, some of them inside, nice warm booths, and you just program each compartment, the product you want in each compartment, how much you want in each compartment. You look it over, double check before you hit start. Because once you hit start, that's it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So you want to make sure you
hmm,
have the right product in the right amount going into the right compartment. Because
hmm,
each loading arm is numbered or lettered, A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, and you make sure that compartment number one arm is on compartment number one on the trailer. That way you don't get crossed up. You want to look at it
hmm,
before you hit start on each compartment. You want to make sure everything is hooked up. And once it's
hmm,
hooked up, you hit start. And what I do once I hit start, I try to get the trainee to come outside the booth with me and walk over while the loading process is starting and check everything to make sure everything's intact. We have internals on the trailers that you're supposed to open before you actually hit the start. That helps vent the trailer because if those are closed off, the trailer will build pressure and you'll hear the pressure. Hazmat Slim can speak to that and probably SKZ can speak to that. You have to open those internal up to vent the trailer so it doesn't build pressure.
hmm.
And once you got all that working fine, everything sounds normal, then you can go back inside the booth and just keep an eye on everything, make sure there's no leaks. And that's pretty much it until the loading process is done. Loading process only takes in between 10 and 15 minutes, depending on the rack you're at. I mean, it's a
Okay.
quick process.
Do you feel like trainees once they leave your training, do you feel like that person is a reflection of you once they
Yeah,
out on their own?
yeah, I do. I do. And I had some trainees that didn't quite make it, and I killed myself over it. Like, damn,
Yeah,
what could I have done different? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Where did I fail this trainee at? You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it just, you go over that stuff as a trainer, especially when you consider yourself a professional and you're trying to do the job right. Because I
Mm-hmm.
want everybody to make it here. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I always try to tell my trainees, if you have a problem, you call me. You can't get me. It's always somebody working your shift somewhere that you can call that know how to do this. And you call them.
Yeah, nice. Hazmat make you look good, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sound
Hey,
like she
salute to
definitely
Hazmat. She
she
she's
doing her
she
thing.
she picked it up. Some people can pick this up, Anthony, almost immediately. Some
Yeah,
people take a little longer. It's just all about the individual. Like I said, we all learn differently.
yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, we had another question in here. Let me see. Chris P, why is Gemini, or he says, is Gemini a good company, and how do you know what's in your tanks? I think they kind of covered some of that. How do you know what's in your tanks?
Does he mean the amount? I don't know. It's kind of open-ended.
Yeah, it's a
And
little
the tanks at
vague.
the store,
It's a
maybe
little
that's what he means. I'm not sure.
that's a little vague, man. I'm not really sure exactly what he
Yeah,
meant. DJ, what is the typical shift for a local driver carrying fuel?
let them speak to that. Slim or SKZ can take that if they want.
So most of us, we work 5 days, 12-hour shifts.
5 days, 12-hour shifts. All right. And you guys like are around the clock 24 hours, so could be AM, PM, just 12 hours. All right. And again, if you missed it, they do slip seat the local drivers. Doll says cameras inside the tractors facing you. Do you guys have
Yep,
cameras inside?
yep.
Depends on the tractor, but yeah, my truck
Most
has cameras in there.
Yeah, most of the new tractors got cameras. Hell, even some of the newer trucks, they got the 360 cameras all the way around and
Hmm.
Really?
inside. Yeah, you can see all around the truck, the outside of the truck and inside of the truck, driver facing and road facing. So
Hmm.
How,
if you
how do
if you
how
got
do
an
you
issue with
guys feel
cameras,
about how do you guys feel about those?
hate them. At
Yeah.
least the driver facing. I don't mind the road facing, but I can't
Hmm.
stand the driver facing.
Right.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm on the same page. I don't mind them around the truck because it's helped me before because they'll set you off if somebody's in your blind spot. You're trying to switch lanes, they'll let you know. So I like all that stuff, but the facing me one, I don't really care for it at all.
Yeah. And I think most drivers feel the same way when it comes to inside the cab.
And especially being in my sleeper, it doesn't shut off. So even when you're there at nighttime and stuff, like it's
It's still
recording
running.
still. It's still
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah. All right. Doll says, do you guys go through the scales if you go long distance?
I've ran
Yeah,
across the scale several times. Yeah.
yeah. Even short, we got scales. Even short, they have local scales, pop-up scales in the different, cities
Yeah.
and different counties. They'll pop up a scale anywhere in Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
You'd be like,
Hmm.
damn. The next thing you know, they pulling you over like, damn. You know what I mean? Out of
Yeah.
nowhere. They ran
Yeah.
us through.
Yeah.
They run you through shopping malls in the middle of the night. That's one thing you got to
Hmm.
be aware of. In the middle of the night, they'll run you through a shopping center to go across a
Hmm.
scale. They have a pop up scale. So
Hmm.
that's why we
Yeah.
load legally. We always gonna have you load legally. We're never gonna have you load heavy. If you load heavy, that's on you. And I don't know why you would
Hmm.
do something like that because that could cost you money. So don't ever load overweight. We have the weights
Hmm.
that you're supposed to load for your particular unit, so you don't be overweight.
Hmm. Yeah, those
So
pop-up skills, I done been through a few of those.
yeah, yeah.
I'm coming off ramps and I see guys come over here, come
Yeah,
over
come on
here.
over.
Like,
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's like,
yeah,
damn.
it happens. All right, we had somebody else in here. Let me see. I think we got that one. Oh no, let me see one. I'm not sure we had this one. Dirty when you train, dirty when you train. Do you guys go in with the mindset of anyone can be trained, or do you try and filter out drivers who you think ain't gonna make it?
No, not most of us. Most of us will keep training you. Like we don't have a set time. Like it's not. We have a mandatory of 10 days. Like we will never release anybody before 10 days. but some people just take longer. And I will keep training you as long as you're making progress and you don't quit on me. I won't quit on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way we work. And I try to tell people, I try to calm people down. Don't worry about it. Just keep working at it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes what I'll do, I'll send a trainee to a different trainer because we
Mm.
just can't make that connection. I've done that to Slim. And the only reason why I started out training Slim, she didn't finish training with me. I started out because she was my recruit and she's close to my area. So I felt like I should at least start. And I knew she wasn't going to be on a truck with me. I knew she was going to be on a truck with another individual. But I started out training her. Was it a week or 2 weeks? I forget how long I trained.
I think it was 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. And then I
Yeah.
sent her with my brother-in-law. And I had
Mm.
him train her for a week. And then we sent her with her trainer. Actually, that's the guy that trained me because that's the guy she slip seats with. And he's a very good trainer. He's been here a long time. He's a very thorough driver when it comes to training. And that's who she finished up her training with. So she kind of got a good deal because she got a little
Mm.
Mhm.
bit from everybody. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Seasoned guys,
Mhm.
a young guy, old guy, and an old guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
So a
Right.
guy older than me that's been doing it a hell of a lot longer than me. So she
Mm-hmm.
she had some thorough training, and I wanted to give her that because she was a brand new driver. Because we
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just training her how to do fuel, which that's all we usually do. We actually had to train her how to drive. Because anybody
Yeah.
that been through CDL school, they just do enough just to pass you. So
Mhm.
not
Right.
only do we have to train her to haul product and deliver, load and deliver product, how to actually maneuver the truck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And speaking of trucks, do you guys have automatics or manuals? I think I know the answer. Well, I know the answer, but you guys can answer it.
Automatic.
Automatics.
now we do have
Automatic.
some standards around. So it just all depends on where you're at. You can come here with an auto restriction, but just be advised if your truck breaks down and you have to go get a rental truck and it's a standard, you might be
Hmm.
sitting down because you just can't drive
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. All right. Sideshow says, how much time do you have to be with the company to get your first vacation?
6 months.
6 months.
6 months. You get your first week.
Okay. And how does your vacation time work, DB? Um, I guess first year, 2 year, how much vacation time you get at that point?
I think your first year, I think your, I don't know. What is that, Slim? Because I know that this changed.
I know after 6 months you get a week, and then after a year, is it two?
Two
Hmm.
weeks, something like that. And this just
Yep.
not too long ago changed. I can get you that accurate information. I think it's
Okay.
actually 2 weeks in your first 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
That might be two. That might, yeah, I'll get that
You
to
could
you.
just text it to me, DB, and then
Yeah, yeah, I'll text it to you.
I'll put it in the description.
Yep.
All
But they
right.
did. You get a lot of vacation time. Personal, you get. I do think it's 2 weeks vacation the first year, 4 personal days, 3 bereavement days, um, 6 paid holidays. Um,
Benefits start immediately with you guys, or do you have to wait 30 days, or how does that work with
Thir-
benefits?
30 days.
30 days? Okay.
Hmm.
All right. SKZ, this one for you. Could you possibly be a team driver since you're in a sleeper?
I guess anything's possible, but they haven't ever suggested that or anything like that. So the sleeper is just my truck, and that's how they run them.
Yeah. Okay. Truckology, not a question. My guy says salute to DB and fellow tankers. Appreciate all the information. Stay safe. Appreciate you, Keith, for checking in. All right, man. We got 89 people in here right now. Appreciate all you guys for checking in
mhm.
and joining the chat today, man. We done been on a little over an hour right now, man. I appreciate all you guys for checking in today. Hey, you guys got any last words? We gonna get ready to get up out of here and wrap this up.
I feel like
Oh,
my last words.
real quick.
Okay.
Excuse me, I don't mean to cut you off,
No,
Hazmat.
you're okay.
But one thing I do want to touch on that Ashley brought up on the last live stream is job hopping. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Um, when it comes to job hopping, and they obviously said that they really pay attention to it. And I know people leave jobs for various reasons. Some valid, some may not be as valid. Some people chasing sign-on bonuses. There's just a lot of different things going on out there. But what would you guys have to say when it comes to job hopping?
Y'all want to get that?
Um, I don't think it's necessarily a good look. Coming from agriculture, you see that a lot though, because guys will chase literally another dollar and move to another farm or another ranch, but because they're so shorthanded in terms of help. But it's a lot of people, won't hire you if they see you've been to 10 and 12 places just trying to chase something here and there. I
Mhm.
think I think it goes a long way to stay your time and ride it out. I mean, obviously there's stuff that happens that maybe you can't ride out and you got to move on, but I think jumping around just chasing a little bit of extra money here and there is going to catch up with you in the long run because eventually
Yeah,
companies
Right.
aren't going to want to deal with it.
yeah,
Consistency is key because believe it, like it does cost the employers a lot of money to bring employees on. So they,
hmm
job hopping doesn't, it's not a good look because they're thinking, we're about to spend X amount of dollars trying to get you in and then you're just going to leave. So
hmm Yeah,
it's not really
companies got to
cost
pay for
benefit.
training and all of
Right.
that, man. Drug
Right.
testing. It's just a lot
Hmm.
that goes on that people really don't
Mhm.
realize on the outside looking in,
Right.
candidates. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a costly thing to, get people hired on, like the whole process.
And
I
and
know coming
yeah.
from a management, when I used to be a manager, at Krispy Kreme or whatever, when I used to have to bring people in and send them out to get drug testing, and then, if they come back and it's negative or what or positive, just spent money on a drug test. You know what I mean? Like that, it adds up. Like this stuff isn't free, and you know, people really don't understand the behind the scenes when it comes to it. From a candidate's perspective, we just thinking about ourselves, but companies, it's a business, so
Mhm.
Hmm.
they gotta look at the bottom line. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? But
Yeah.
what would you say, DB, when it comes to job hopping?
Yeah.
What's your
Same
take
thing.
on
Job hopping, and actually, people can actually cut down the job hopping if they just spent a little bit of time vetting the company a little more, talking to a
Hmm.
few people. Don't just talk to one person. Try to talk to multiple people. And the one thing I try to stress, and I do this on my channel a lot, if you want to be successful at anything you do in life, talk to somebody who's being successful at that exact thing that you're trying to do. And
it?
ask and talk to them. That's who you want to mentor you. You don't want just a guy, oh man, I used to be there and I ain't like it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, then why are you wasting your time? You feel me? Try
Mm-hmm.
to find that guy who's been there, who's been successful at anything. It doesn't matter whether it's truck driving or damn painting or whatever it is. Just
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
try to find that successful person and try to get that game from them, and they can tell you why they there this long, and how they were
Mm-hmm.
able to do it, and that can eliminate a lot of that stuff. Because if you get with me, I'm gonna just shoot you the real, man. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I try to tell people all the time, this job is very, very monotonous, man. So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't like doing the same exact thing every day, don't waste your time, man. You'll be
Hmm.
disappointed. Don't think you're
Right.
gonna come here and run all over the country and see all this different. It ain't gonna happen here. You gotta find
Mm-hmm.
another job. This just ain't that kind of party, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is. And it's very regimented, it's very demanding, because these stores operate 365. They tell you that, like a lot of people when they fill out the applications, right? It'll tell you in the application, you have to be available to work when you have available hours. You can't be like, oh man, it's my day off. And when they call
Yeah.
you that they need you, we all get pissed off, but you still got to put your boots on and go get the money.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You signed up for it. You understand what
That's
I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah.
So you can't be mad if you signed up for it. That they're
Right.
making you work an extra day or something like that. That's just what it is. And most of these
Nah, that,
jobs are like that. If you don't like that, don't sign up, man, because you're going to be pissed off, especially hauling fuel. Because we're moving into the spring and the summer. Trust me, you're going to be expected to work a lot. We work a
yeah.
lot of hours here, man, when we're busy, because these stores have to stay filled.
Yeah. Now, Ashley mentioned that you guys, I know, different lanes of trucking, depending on what you're doing, it got slow seasons. But Ashley said you guys are pretty much, you guys got work pretty much year round.
Yes, sir. This is
Hmm.
this is probably in trucking, probably the, if not number one, we're up there. as most
Mm-hmm.
consistent. We're like
Yeah.
recession proof. I
Mm-hmm.
explain it to different people when I talk about fuel hauling versus gas hauling. It's a difference.
Yeah.
And and the people that don't know the difference, you could just look back when we had the pandemic. A lot of gas haulers didn't work because they shut down a lot of gas stations. Why? Because people were sitting at home. But trucks
Yeah.
still had to go. Anthony, you still had to go, right? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So we
Mm-hmm.
y'all got to get that fuel. So we're the
Yeah.
fuel haulers. So if
That's a
anything
good point,
moved
man.
out here on the highway,
Yeah.
we're there. And I don't care
Yeah.
what division you're in, you need fuel to do it. So
Yeah.
that's why we're like right there. So we're gonna work all the time. I've never been laid off. I never looked for work. I always had work and I always went to work
Mm-hmm.
all the way through, man. Never missed a beat. I never
That's
been laid off.
yeah. That's a very good point, man. All right. So now, last words from you guys. Hazmat Slim, I would like for you to, what would you say to the ladies out there that
Yeah, I definitely want
are
to give a
Very
shout out
good.
to my ladies for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I got a few on watching the channel and they curious about different trucking jobs and I think you definitely some motivation.
yeah, so I feel like it's typical for us to automatically feel discouraged or intimidated by working with the trucks or working with a predominantly male run company, but anything is possible. And like I'm proof. I'm little, I'm small. If I could do it, anybody could do it. So if if you're interested or you're thinking about doing it, try to find somebody to send a company, like a mentor, so to speak, and get with them and do it. Because people be like, well, what if I mess up or what if I fail? And it's
Hmm.
my look on it is, what if you fly? Like, what if you're really
Yeah,
good at it?
right.
So just try it. You don't know until you try it.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
we can do it as well.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of men. You go to the racks and you mostly see men, which you do,
Hmm.
but you can do it too. There's
Yeah.
nothing that they do that you can't, and I'm proof.
There you go. All right, SKZ, what you got for me, man?
You got to have a strong work ethic if you want to do this. It's not for the lazy. You got to come every day of the week and you got to bring your A game. There's no taking it easy today or not. Fuel needs to
Hmm.
get hauled, it needs to get put in the ground, it needs to be done properly and the right way every single time. So if you're trying to cut corners and take an easy day, this really isn't the job for you. You got to show up 100% all
Yeah.
the time. You
There you
know,
go.
it,
And
Yep.
you guys work in all weather conditions as well, just like
mm-hmm.
us, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you never know. I hauled loads a couple weeks ago. It was sunny and nice when I got there. I parked for the night, woke up, and there was snow and ice everywhere when I got up in the morning, and still had to go back and get my load and bring it back to that same store over in the mountains out in western Pennsylvania. So you got to be
Yeah.
prepared for all situations too.
There you go,
Hmm.
man.
Yep.
All right, guys, I appreciate y'all for coming on and sharing this information. DB, I'm pretty sure
Yes, sir.
we'll still stay in contact. We
Absolutely,
got
man.
our
Anytime you need me, you got my number. Just hit me up and
yeah.
we'll get it right.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate Hazmat. Appreciate you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
SKZ. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you very much.
All
And
right.
remember, we got 83 people left, man. If you guys haven't hit that like button, hit the like button. Also, definitely go subscribe to Dirty Broke 215 and also Hazmat Slim, man. They both have YouTube channels. All right. Run those subscribers up. All right.
All
All right,
right.
man. I
Appreciate
appreciate
you.
you guys. I hope y'all
All right.
have a good weekend,
All right.
man.
Enjoy your
Everybody,
Sunday, man.
Have a good
appreciate y'all.
weekend.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Later.
See
Bye.
you.
Bye.